láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Hello everyone, my name is Adegbemi Ganiu and I welcome you all to my new Yoruba Abrahamic YouTube video. Today I want to talk about the Yorubas and the Africans' neglections of their traditional way of life for a black cube in today's Saudi Arabia, popularly known as Kaaba, which interestingly has an Hindu origin and whose tradition has been embedded to portray as a new Muslim Islamic tradition in the global world today. Things I shall be saying here might actually sound controversial, but people who have been following me for long, they know I love my Yoruba Muslim, I love my Yoruba Christian, I love my Yoruba traditionalists because humanity matters to me much than anything. And I'm not here to, it's not an intention on me to target or mock or even ridicule whatever you believe in, because I believe the truth will prevail either through me or through someone else sooner or later. Instead, I will even want you to take it as a tax on yourself to do more findings regarding to what I will be telling you here. Then you should be the judge, because we all need to liberate ourselves from what we've been told all our life. So for those who are just coming by my channel, please let me take this moment to subscribe. Let me press the like button. Let me turn up the notification bell so you can always know each time I upload new video. And also for those who find my channel interesting, likewise some of my videos you might have watched and you actually want more of it in details, I've released 4 different books which you can purchase. The link to the purchasing is within my YouTube channel. So just click on the WhatsApp, it will take you to, so you will know what to do next after clicking my channel where I sell the books. And for those who actually even want to support me through donation, just click on the WhatsApp channel too. Whichever among the two, it will still get you through me, and we can always discuss how you can support me. All supports are welcome, especially regarding to how expensive data is today. So let's quickly jump into the main topic today. Before we actually go deeper into what Kaaba really means, we need to first get to know what the Quran itself understood as Kaaba. The Quran verdict regarding to the Kaaba, the black stone that Muslims are moving towards to today in terms of praying. The Quranic guide to the global Muslim is supposed to serve as the bedrock of belief and a pillar which all that they shall oblige or pledge to, which all that they do as a constitution must fall upon. So what does the Quran, which also happens to be the statement of the Almighty according to them through Muhammad, understood today as Kaaba? In a straight up, without sugarcoating words, sorry, there is nothing like Kaaba in the entire Quran, and this is what many people or Muslims don't know. There is nothing like Kaaba. There is nothing like the black cube. There is nothing relating to the all activity called the spiritual tradition going on. Nothing of such in the entire Quran. And this alone is to tell you that our African Yoruba Muslim and African Muslim generally, I don't want to say they are not really sure of what they hold as faith. It's like they just choose to follow the crowd because so many people are doing it, or it sounds beautiful. But many of them have failed to make this research regarding to what they hold at heart. Throughout the Quran, there is nothing called Kaaba, neither does the Almighty or the Quranic Muhammad identify with anything of such. Perhaps here is the manipulative and the tricky part, which many Muslim leaders always use as an evidence to reference to, or a kind of defensive tactics to justify the Kaaba presence in the Quran, which is not true. It is indeed that the Quran did speak about Qibla, and truly Qibla kind of like sound alike with Kaaba. But realistically, Qibla and Kaaba, they mean something completely different to each other if you understand Arabic word very much. In general understanding, the Quran describes Kaaba as a sort of your standing place, a sort of a location where you are before actualizing something. or should I say, wherever you appoint for yourself by yourself before you comment on something. It's like maybe I want to make a call to someone, maybe from international to Nigeria or stuff like that. Where I am before I'm making that call is my home Qibla. That is like a location you choose for yourself. Likewise, you can see that as a reference to, according to the Quranic meaning or definition, and a reference to what Qibla means in the sayings of the Almighty Himself. You can see much of the reference in Quran 56 verse 16, Surah Al-Waqiah, which actually describes Qibla as a sort of your position you are while facing someone else. Kabilina in the Arabic, in the plural term. The question now is, why does the Quran even identify with Qibla? We are not talking about Kaaba now, we are still in the Quran. What is the essence of that Qibla itself? Why is it even important in the Quran? Because we have to know, maybe its importance in the Quran have a reference to praying or banging your head on the floor, so you will understand what the Quran identifies as Qibla and not Kaaba, and the essence of that Qibla itself in the Quranic context. A reference of the Quran in a general term from where you people can understand. The Almighty identified with Qibla with people of a community. A Qibla was meant to be used to describe people of location, people in a community where they can always come together to discuss matter. Be just like in today, just like landlord association, exactly. In a community where elders can sit down, discuss matter, where people can also gather along them to learn one or two things, and where solution can come up into arising matters. That is exactly what Qibla means. And you can see that for an instant in another verse again in the Quran, in Surah Yunus 10 verse 87, where the Almighty was actually addressing Prophet Musa. Musa, make your own house the new Qibla. The Almighty is telling Prophet Musa that make your house the Qibla. He's never telling Prophet Musa to be looking for Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia, this is another problem people, Muslims don't see. If the Almighty is using the term Qibla, I'm not talking about Kaaba, using the term Musa's location to be referenced to as a Qibla, as a meeting place where people shall come and meet him in his house for discussion, for solution, for preaching, for anything relating to righteous act, then we should ask. If you look the timeline between Musa came thousands of years before Muhammad, and we know that Kaaba is only being identifying with Muhammad, because the entire Kaaba of Saudi Arabia or no Kaaba, he only start to be cited in a written book as far back as just 7th century. Above 7th century, there is nothing like Kaaba in the entire Saudi. Even the entire location does not exist. Go and make your find. So it does not even exist. So it is the modern Muslim through the Persian Hadith that began to come alive with the whole thing that you see regarding to Kaaba. They try to replace Qibla meaning with Kaaba, even though the Quran has a different meaning to what Kaaba means. Kaaba is another new entire thing which you can only be referred to the Persian Hadith, and we understood that the Persians, their whole writings, their own doctrine is only reflecting their own cultural belief. The pre-existing belief of the Persian from the Talmud are what they combine together to give modern Muslim as a new Islamic tradition. It has nothing to do with Muhammad. And if you even check the whole Hadith, there is not a book that was written with the permission of Muhammad. The Quranic Muhammad was long gone, about 400 years, far away before the whole Hadith was coming from. So it all makes sense that the Quran, the Almighty, the writing of Muhammad before he died, from the Quran, I knew nothing about the Qibla. Why the Qibla is all the doings of those who invaded Africa, came up with a new ideology to replace what Qibla means and give it a new name known as Kaaba. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So So therefore, if you ask a normal Muslim ruler today to give you a reference, because there is a way they always try to scramble for evidences in the Quran, even though if you understand the definitions of those evidences, they always sound contradictory to what they accounted for. But many Muslims don't know, because most of them either read English Quran. But you know, when you write something in English, anyone can translate it to fit their own agenda. So there are so many variants of Arabic language that have been mistranslated to fit different ideology inside their Persian Hadith. So if you ask a random Muslim today to give you a reference to the Kaaba or the Black Stone going on today, it's either they first show you that it's coming from the Persian Hadith and they rub it all over the legacy of Muhammad, even though Muhammad knew nothing of such. Or they should quote you Surah Al-Baqarah 2 verse 143, which actually encourages Muhammad, which actually, you know, I made references to how the Almighty uses the term Qibla for Musa. Musa used the house as your own Qibla. Likewise, in the same Quran, the Almighty also referring that same Qibla to Muhammad, not Kaaba. Not Kaaba is different. Qibla means your location towards whatever direction you want to do. Kaaba means a specific direction where a mounted black stone is and a black cube, which they said you must always face before you can make supplication to heaven. But the reality regarding to this common Surah Al-Baqarah verse 2 verse 143 that the Muslim always put as an evidence, which truly indeed talk about Qibla, not Kaaba, there is more to that verse. People, there is a way they always try to give you an half-baked statement of the Quran, whereas if you actually read the full verse or almost full of the verse, you will understand what led to the idea of Qibla. They will jump into Surah 2 verse 143, whereas you need to start from Surah 2 verse 142 before you reach 143. That is when you will know what the Quran is talking about. But I won't want to go deeper in detail for the sake of time, but I will just outline it. You can see it on the board, but I'll be marking it. Collectively, from Surah Al-Baqarah 2 verse 142 to 144, it states in general that the Almighty was actually addressing Muhammad, now asking Muhammad that, Muhammad, as you are, some of the foolish people, the ignorant one, they will ask you that, you Muhammad, why have you changed your Qibla? Why have you changed your Qibla? Remember I told you the way the Almighty spoke with Musa, he described Qibla as a location. So that location definition, now let's apply it to how Almighty was addressing Muhammad. The Almighty is now saying, oh Muhammad, the foolish among the people will ask you that, why have you changed your Qibla, your location, from where it was to where it is now? Then the Almighty is now still telling Muhammad, try and tell them, this is the response I need you to give those who are telling you that you are changing your Qibla. Because to the Almighty, Qibla was not supposed to be a stationing place. It's supposed to be something you can change. I can use my house, I can use my bungalow, my reserved space as a Qibla. That is exactly what the Almighty understood as Qibla. So the Almighty is now telling Muhammad, those of the foolish one who are asking you that you should, why did you change your Qibla? Make them to realize that changing of Qibla is no big deal, it has no spiritual tie. Tell them that I am the Almighty all over the world. I am the one in the west, I am the one in the east. The Almighty is saying, wherever you face across the global spot, the hemisphere, the southwest of the world, you always find me there. So I am the one. There is no way I can. I am the one. I'm listening to you. You don't have to limit me. That is what the Almighty is actually telling Prophet Muhammad to give as a reply at the ignorant ones who actually think they can box the Almighty into a location. But in the further Quran, to make it further more clarifying, The further statement, which happens to be the 143 to 144, now further said, excuse me, in your own case, Muhammad, we can see that you are looking above. You don't know where to face or where to choose as your Qibla. So we inspire you. Not that we made you. Go and check the Quranic meaning. It's Jah Allah. It's Jah Allah. We made you. No, we made you. We made you means we compulsory you or we make you to do it. The Almighty is not saying He told Muhammad that this is what he should do. He said we inspired you. We speak to your mind. We try to convince you. Jahala, we made you. Then it's like Muhammad don't know the own Qibla where he should use. The Almighty is not saying we convince you, we inspired you to make a Qibla for you. We help you to make the decision of where you should use as your Qibla. And while in the process, we created balance in something that will please you. We know that you can. It's like the Almighty is saying, we know we don't want to stress you. Maybe we don't want you to leave your house much. Why not use this place? So we create a balance. It's something that will please you, and also please the people. So but the Almighty is still insisting that wherever you are, I'm the one that I can listen to you. You don't need to box me in one corner. So the Almighty, let me just summarize it so you understand in generality. The Quran is basically saying during the time of Muhammad, the Almighty was telling Muhammad that now you are facing one particular place, or maybe you choose one part, maybe under the tree, then you decide to change it to back of your house. The Almighty is not saying the foolish one might ask you among the people who are coming around you. They will ask you that, Muhammad, why have you decided to change your previous location, the rendezvous, the spot that we were before, to another place? Then the Almighty is now saying, tell them that, are they ignorant? Don't you know that the Almighty, there's nowhere you are that the Almighty will not listen to you? Why should I focus my attention in one place when the Almighty can be heard, when the Almighty can hear you anywhere? And because in your own case, you probably don't know where to choose as your own new Qibla, your own location. So it is we that convince you that why not choose this place? Because this place will create balance so that it won't stress you as much. And at the same time, it is something that will please you. You will be happy with it. That is exactly. Now tell me in the entire Surah Al-Baqarah verse, tell me where the Almighty speaks about stone. Tell me in the entire Quran where the Almighty speaks about black stone, a black constructed queue. Tell me where the Almighty said, this is the place you shall be banging your head on, you shall be visiting. Tell me where the Almighty now said, this is where you shall be circumambulating and around. If you want more of this, I'll detail it in my book. You can see much, but I'm just giving you the basic one before we go deeper and deeper, because I will try my best to be touching on it as well. So there is none of what they are doing in today's Saudi Arabia in the Quran. That is exactly what I've said, and the Almighty gave an entire different meaning or definition for what Qibla means, and Qibla is not Kaaba. Most of what they attribute, they lie against Prophet Ibrahim as well, like Mukama Ibrahim in Surah 125, where they said the leg of Muhammad. How can a leg be a thing of a symbol? Whereas they said Mukama means a legacy. It does not mean a leg footprint. It means a legacy. I guess the confusion came from the ideology of the Yoruba word, because this is what many people don't pay attention to. The Yoruba, we said Ipa ese. In Yoruba, Ipa ese means the leg footprint in a direct writing word. But the way the Yoruba people understood it, even though it's a reflected leg, it actually means your legacy, your footprint, your walk-through path in a term of what you do, let your answer, is a legacy. So they had to come up with a sort of Buddha leg and references. How can a leg be a thing of a symbol? It actually shows you so many of the ignorant view of how they interpret some of the things in the Quran. But the African Muslim don't ask questions. They do as they are being told. So let's now, the third question is, where does all this un-Quranic conspiracy of the Africans, or of the Saudi Arabian tradition, they practice the spirit, the ritualism that goes on there, where are all this coming from? I've reflected on this in one of my videos that is coming from the Hindu, so I won't want to go back and forth as well. Here are some of the things we should touch on it, like the term tawaf. Tawaf does not mean circumambulation as well. I've said it as well. Tawaf does not mean circumambulation. Tawaf means a social gathering. A social gathering where you can, like a sightseeing, like it's a social gathering where people can intermix together, where people can relate together. Like, you understand, a social gathering generally. You can see that in Surah An-Nahl 24:58, where the Almighty even referring to it, the social gathering. Some of you move about among each other, mingle, tawafuna. You can see that as well in Surah Al-Taf 52:24. There among you, interclose with each other. You are interwoven as youth, tawatufu. So randomly in the entire Quran, it's like they just pick random words, twist it. It could be out of ignorance, it could be out of a target that they need to mislead people. I can't really tell, but they just randomly pick different Arabic words, give it a new meaning from their Persian Hadith, and derailed people completely out of what the message is saying, in all attempt to fit in their own traditional Talmud way in Persian land. So this is exactly what the Talmud means, to mingle. Tawa, as in, let's even learn. So in other words, the gathering relates to how people can be talking, how people can mix up with each other. The last question we need to ask again is that, where does all this thing originated from? I've stated it earlier. Of course, it's from the Hindu cultural influences over the Persian Talmud tradition long before the modern Quranic was established. The word Kaaba was actually derived from the Hindu word Kabbaleshwar, alternatively known as Kapaleshwara, a kind of an ancient temple in Chennai in India. The Arabian Black Stone is the female genital that represents what we know as Yoni, and as the female part of Shiva Ling, Oju Abe Obirin. The Hindu white one also represents the male one. So it's a male and female genital. If you put it along, you will see one represents male, one represents the female. So once you put your mind, it's like you are kissing a female a female part, where they said it will suck all your sin, or I don't know where they get all those things from. You can see that, like, Ile-Ife Treaty was also derived from Pictra, another Hindu cultural tradition. The Zamzam water concept, in reference to another Hindu river Ganges spiritual water, which they also claim to have descended down from heaven in a flowing, and whose tale of origin did predated what we are found in the Persian Hadith, because none of it are in the Quran. So it's all coming from the Persian books known as Hadith, and the Hindu claim predated it. So it actually indicated that, it actually shows that the Persian took all the concept from the one that came earlier. So likewise in the Hindu I don't know, I'm not an Hindu man. Gabagriya of the Shiva, which is the replica of the Shiva-legged part. The Hindu pilgrimage clothes, the white clothes, the red clothes, stuff like that. They pick everything going on into this Arabia from the Hindu tradition, which led to why none of it is in the Quran. So I'm not saying it to demonize any religion. I just want everybody to be liberated. It does not matter whether you like me or you don't like me. Just go and make your finding, because enough of what is happening in Africa, enough of all this religion violence. We don't seem to love ourselves anymore, and the cause of it is because we are so ignorant on what we ought to what as a belief. If you know the root of something, you will know that it is worthless fighting your fellow Africans. Completely worthless. Because the reason why you are fighting is not even genuine. The cause is not even genuine. But mix so many lies. If you do this one, paradise is waiting for you. If you do this one, 40 virgins waiting. They've turned us black and white. We don't even know what we are doing. So this is what the channel is all about. I'm not here to attack any religion. I'm not here to demonize whatever you are doing. I'm just here to open your eyes to things they are not telling you within the religion. And maybe if you know the truth, it will help you to start seeing your fellow human, your fellow Yoruba person or your fellow Africans as a real friend rather than an enemy. You don't kill because of religion. You don't insult people because of religion. You don't fight because of religion. Because at the end of the day, everything is brainless. Everything has to do with this world. The only thing the Almighty asks for is your righteousness. So this is where we shall be coming to an end regarding to Hindu. I've made a long video about it, so I just need to touch on it as well, because what is happening is disheartening. In the name of religion, we are just hating ourselves for no reason. I will see you in my next video. Help me press the like button again, help me share it, support me, contact me for questioning or stuff like that. I'm ready to answer you each time, any day. I love everyone. Thank you and bye for now.